Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monat, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monat. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath. I have a little bit of a head cold, guys, so bear with me as we get through this. Trampled, tried, and tested. It's not arrogance. You simply will not be bested. Let's chat. Up in the middle of the night and feeling alright, and had a download. Making myself some tea, and my angel said, "Get on and talk to the collective, and share what we just said." It was an interesting way that it trickled in, and they said, "Let the healing begin." Trampled, tried, and tested. You simply will not be bested. It's not arrogance. Some people mistake the way that you separated yourself for being haughty, but it's important to know when you have something precious inside. It's important to know when you can no longer reside in the company of people that are sending evil eye. Now, people hear that word evil eye and they think, oh my goodness, is someone, actually wishing something and holding up a cauldron and stirring something over a pot? Sometimes that's the case, but most often it's not. It's as simple as a negative intention. Masamuro Emoto, the doctor that practiced and taught us so much about the vibration of words and energy in water. Masamuro Emoto, I believe I'm saying his name correctly. If I'm not, I will make sure that you guys at least understand and can find him. Angels send them to the right place. Masamuro Emoto, I do believe it is. Anyway, I came across his work maybe 15 years ago, and I was seeing somebody at the time, and he had in his house, he was a mentor and a lover and a soulmate of mine, and he had in his house a vase, and at the bottom of the vase there were crystals ensconced inside of the glass, and it was his most precious thing, and he eventually ended up gifting it to me, and he said, "This changes everything," and he taught me about this guy. I looked him up. His work can be seen in museums. He is a Japanese, I do believe, doctor, and his work can be seen all over the world. And what happens is, what he did was he literally put words into glasses on pieces of paper, or people speak into water, and it changed the vibration, the molecular structure. Guys, let's get real sciencey here. It changed the molecular structure of the actual glass, of the actual water. So, a beautiful piece of a snowflake, maybe, that had looked a certain way, once spoken over to with a word that was maybe like fear, took on a different shape. Now, let's talk about the moon, our bodies, and the percentage of water we're made up of. We talk about moons, and it's a full moon, and people are acting differently. This is because we are made up of water. We are made up of what is that emotional energy. So we are affected by people's words. And my empaths listening, our words are powerful. The words we speak over ourselves, the words people speak over us. And so you have to be so careful. I am often guided to move expeditiously away from people without much explanation. It's very rare that I don't take that now at this current stage in my life, where I don't take, excuse me, when God is trying to send me a message that someone might want to cause me strife, or there might not be a good influence in my energy. Pay attention to the words people are saying out loud and quietly. And when you separate yourself, some people might mistake that for you behaving arrogantly, but it is you being self protective. I know someone who once made or cast aspersions upon someone in my family, and they said that this person was arrogant. And I also knew that person, and I thought, yeah, I could see, I can see. But I realized that later that person may have thought the same of me. The difference is what brings us to the title today. I was groomed, I was tried, I was tested in a different kind of way. My arrogance, perceived, although it may be, did not come from me thinking I was better than she or he. It came from me knowing that I have a destiny. Message, empath. Message, divine feminine. Message, narcissistic slayer. Message to everybody that wants to maximize the opportunities you're given. My job here is to communicate, and I do it when I am or am not feeling great. Exhibit A. I do it no matter what anyone else around me has to say. I do it whether abundance or blessings or lessons are coming my way. And that irritates principalities. And sometimes those principalities are put into people around me as sleeper cells and agents. Listen to me. Hear me clearly as much as I can articulate through this head cold. Hear me. Principalities, meaning negative energies, are put into people around you sometimes as sleeper cells. They lay dormant in wait until you begin to do great, and then they attack, and you cannot tell. The person that once was your friend or your family has instantaneously and quietly and covertly become a foe. They are thinking things about you that you do not immediately know, but you perceive the changes. Just like when Dr. Emoto put the words into the water and it changed the vibration. Message. Pay attention, y'all. My angels woke me up in the middle of the night. I thought it was to just have some tea to start breathing right. They said no, it's to go shine the light. That's you. I'm not the light that's shining. You're the light if you're here listening. You have people around you that have been casting dispersions, and I'm not here to make you paranoid and to say, you have to just spirit yourself away. There is something to be said for hermiting. I have a video up here about it recently. Sometimes that's a thing we're called to do and be in order to increase our productivity. But what I want you to understand is that in a hermited place, you cannot always stand, but you will have to figure out how to remove your energy or to protect your energy. So if you've ever had a friend, a nextie, a bestie, if you've ever had a sister, mister, a brother, a piece of your family, you ever had a boss, a co-worker, someone that you thought loved you but really they couldn't stand thee, and they were around and you didn't understand, excuse me, immediately that they did not mean you well. Excuse me, guys. Pardon. Sorry for the loud sounds, guys. That they did not mean you well, then this is a way that you can tell. You started to want to protect your energy. You instinctively withdrew. You felt that somebody or something did not wish the best for you. You were not wrong. And people will spin a story because we don't always give explanations. In fact, for many of my empaths listening, we are often bad at over explaining because we are not often self validating, right? Let me explain over explaining. Let me over explaining. That's funny. When we over explain, it's because we haven't self soothed and we haven't been validated. So we over explain, hoping that the person that we're talking to will agree and nod their head and say, oh, yeah, I get it. But really, they're just drawing energy out of you. Sometimes it's literally a waste of your energy. So it's be careful. It's not always the thing to do. The more confident I got in myself, I would always give someone the benefit of the doubt and I would explain a situation from my perspective. I would really try to let them hear me out. I try to hear them out. But then after, you guys have heard me talk about the rule of three. After I had the rule of three and I realized that this is the way the person wants to be, they like this game with me. They like behaving badly and they like wasting my energy. I've had it happen with family members. I've had it happen with lovers. I've had it happen with um, sisters. I've had it happen with brothers. I've had it happen with coworkers. I've had it happen with people that just were in my life randomly. And I'd be over explaining and over explaining and over explaining behavior on how they should better treat me. And then I remove myself, and then they say, oh, look at her behaving so arrogantly. Message. What they liked was taking my energy and siphoning my light. What they liked was getting one over on me, because even if they thought they wanted the best for me in their higher selves, their demons did not mean me well, and my angels and ancestors said, "Flee. These people wish you hell. They do not want to see you happy." You don't have to be paranoid, but you must be circumspect. You must never forget to guard the light within you, because you're the only one who can do it. It's just you. Meaning, no person around you is going to guard you. You have to guard you. You might have a partner, you might have a friend, you might have people that love you, but in the end, it is just you and your relationship to your higher power, whomever that may be. You guys know, for me, it's God energy. What I will say here, especially, is if you've been trampled, tested, and tried, it is okay for you to take pride in spiriting yourself away, to protect yourself for another day. You have a calling, you have a gift, you have music in your heart, and you have new people to share it with. People send the evil eye, quote unquote, and what that means. You guys see a lot of readers have the amulet, and I do too, because people send negative energy your way. When you're in a battle, a narcissist will do this, especially when you remove yourself and you go gray rock. They're pissed, and their focus is on you. And like the work of Miss Dr. Emoto, their negative machinations can sometimes feel like they're coming true. And I want to speak this over you. It's a word that I heard a while ago from a practitioner who was doing a reading, and I thought it's something you all should know. Not my original thought, I want to give them credit. But what I will say is what they said is this. They said, "The evil eye is being pressed down, shaken over, and magnified." Now, the pressed down and shaken over is from the Bible, and that's what happens with our blessings when we are in a spirit of revival. But what I will tell you is that some of the people that are sending you negative energy are only making your path brighter, and they're only illuminating and making things easier for you to see. They're making your path clearer. Every time they send negative energy, you might get a quick hit. You might feel a little bit of it, and then you bounce into something that expands your soul and makes you greater. I want to tell you how this worked in my life specifically. Many, 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 many years ago, I had a narcissist, surprise, who was a bestie. This was a guy, he was British. And I remember us going to clubs all the time, gay clubs. And I was what would be the actual term, excuse the language if it is offensive, but at the time it was called a fag hag. That's what I was called, and that's what I was, meaning his best good girlfriend that loved him and did anything for him. And there were always these blurred lines between us, and meaning that he could be sexual with me energetically and would expect things of me, but not really that he was sexual. He was more objectifying and possessive, because he was still a man in his energy, and I was his possession. So I remember him taking me to the club, and he was good enough to me, but I had terrible low self esteem and didn't realize the truth of how things would always be or one day be. But I remember gay guys coming up to me and being like, "Sis, you're a queen. Darling, you're a beauty," this, that, and the other. They edified and spoke life into me, and they said, "Why are you with this guy? He treats you like shit." But see, empath, I was in that low vibration where I couldn't see it. Do you understand? Now I look back on it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, as the meme says, I'm embarrassed. But at the time, I didn't understand my destiny, and I didn't see what all those other guys around me could see. They would flock to me, and I would be at the bar because he would abandon me and go off to do drugs or have sex or whatever he was doing that entertained his ego, and I would just be there left. And inevitably, it happened week after week. A few guys would end up around me. Well, one week, he got himself into the VIP, and I had a girlfriend with me, and she was blonde and blue. I will never forget. And it was like a little fling of a person that I did not vet. Y'all know how I feel about vetting now, but at the time I was not. I was like, I don't want to be down. What you going through? Can't sing with the head cold at all. But what I realized is that I had this little girlfriend, and she was gorgeous, and he even was trying to figure out how I pulled her. He said that to me because narcissists are evil. So he was like, "What are you like? Wow, like you're with this person?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know. It's great." And it was new. Anyway, he uses her because she was very pretty to get into the VIP, something that he did not have access to, back where all the drag queens were and where everybody was getting ready. And I remember us three being in a line, and he pushed me back, and he was like, no, not you this time. This is for me and her, you can't get in. So he literally, this is my best friend, quote unquote, but he used my little girlfriend to get access into the VIP. Now what's so funny is drag queens ended up being the ones that circled or flocked around me that evening. So instead of it just being the regular guys at the bar, for some reason one of the guys at the bar saw me, and he happened to be friends with a drag queen, and we were just chatting, and I was doing a reading. This is before I even understood that I did readings and what my work was. And he said to me, gosh, you're fabulous, darling. Da 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 da. And he was like, come upstairs. I want you to come with us. The rest of the girls need to meet you. I didn't know what he was talking about, but I was in the VIP in a better section than the narcissist ended up being able to be. And he saw me there, and he did not give me entrance. I got there because that's what God had destined for me now, guys. It's the VIP at a gay club and a drag show. It's not exactly going to meet the king or the president, but these were my kings and my queens at the time. And so I was in this space, and in fact, he was denied. They were like, oh no, he can't get in. And one of the drag queens whispered to me that he was a problem. And they talked about how he was rude and other things that I had just not been privy to. And because of how I was loving him and idolizing him and suppressing my magical empath energy, it was not something that I could see. You guys get it? So I ended up in a position to be in VIP in a space above him when he had denied me because he said that I was too ugly and that I wasn't good enough to get in. And then later, he tried to berate me because he thought I was behaving arrogantly when it was a position that, like it or not, someone else put me in, but not him. I want you to take that story and use it in your life. There are some things in your life that have come to you that are given to you, God given blessings, opportunities, and people think you shouldn't have them. So they think negatively about you and maybe speak negatively over you because they don't want you to have them. Maybe they're not even speaking, but they're just feeling it. And whether you realize it or not, it affects you. That's why you remove yourself and let them say whatever they want to about how you think so. You think you're better. You think you're so special. You think so. You're Miss Hollywood. You're a Mr. That. Whatever they want to say, be that. But you know that your intention is true. My empath, the reason you get blessed is because of the heart in you. The things that have happened in my life, good or bad, and the times when I was shepherded and protected when people meant no good for me, is because of the spirit of God in me. No one can understand unless you've been through it. I have been trampled. I have been tried and I have been tested. And when I set myself apart, people like to say it's arrogance, but I know it's because I will not be bested, because I have a mission in this life. And it's not me just not wanting to be bested. I didn't invite myself into the VIP. I was invited in because something in my spirit and energy said that I deserved to be there no matter what he thought about me. What do you deserve, empath, that people think you don't? And you have to protect yourself from the energy of people that think you won't notice that they're sending that energy, evil eye your way. It doesn't mean you have to be paranoid again, and that in some bodega you have to stay. Sure, there are things that you can use, and yes, there are cord cutting ceremonies, but really, you have to just protect that precious empath energy. And sometimes it's as simple as saying, no, thank you. I will not be able to hang out with you. I will not be able to be around you. Because people want access to you sometimes physically because they can start to pick you apart and they can break down your energy. Those backhanded compliments, compliments that are coupled with criticism, someone will spend a lot of time complimenting you, but when their demons realize or that sleeper cell is activated of negativity, that principality that was deposited in their soul before you guys ever came into being, when they start to then criticize you, you have to be so careful about because you might be receptive to it because they were someone you let in, you loved, and you validated. And so then the criticisms come, and they come with greater and greater frequency, and they are affecting your frequency and the way that you can be. because you let someone in that you trusted who, for whatever reason, is now disgusted with you because they think that you think, which is not true, that you're something special when you're just existing, wanting the best for them as you do for you. People that have low self esteem and that haven't healed will show up in your life and think that you aren't real and think that you have some crazy pride when all you have is the Spirit of God inside and you have been trampled, tried, and tested. So it's not because you think so that you won't be bested. It's because you're a child of God that you won't be bested. Message. I love you guys so much. Protect your energy. Trust your intuition. If you want to remove yourself, it's for a reason. Please listen. Double down and do not second guess. Your spirit, your emotions, the water inside you, does properly vet anyone who has access to your energy for you to continue to ascend, to carry out your mission. We battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. These people aren't actually evil, but the spirit that resides in them that doesn't wish well for you might be. And that's why you remove your empath energy. It's not arrogance, sweetie. It's intelligence. It's appropriate. And it's smart. It is how we empaths coddle, love, and protect our heart. Come back and join me next time, and we will continue to evolve together.